Welcome, everyone, to the Global Heroes podcast. We're your guides, ready to take another deep dive into stories that, well, frankly, inspire.
That's us. And before we get going, just a quick reminder for you, do subscribe to our weekly positive news newsletter. It's a great way to stay connected.
Yeah, absolutely. The link's right there in the show notes. Okay, let's unpack this. Imagine for a moment, a community where every single young child, maybe even those facing pretty significant developmental challenges, gets exactly the support they need right from the very start. Not just like clinical help, but real holistic support that's woven into their daily lives. That feels like, well, a goal worth striving for.
It absolutely does, yeah. And what the sources we're looking at today really show is just how complex and how deeply collaborative making that vision a reality actually is, on the ground.
Exactly. So today we're doing a deep dive into, well, a stack of material focused on one specific organization. They've been working towards that goal for a really long time, Starbright Children's Development Center. It's in Kelowna, British Columbia.
Right.
And they've been dedicated to early intervention for children under school entry age, dealing with developmental challenges for nearly 60 years now.
Wow, 60 years. And the sources, they give us some fascinating insights into Starbright. It's not just what services they offer, though that's important, but crucially, it's how they manage to sustain and deliver that vital support year after year. And the key thread, really, running through all of it, seems to be their deep connection to the community around them.
Yeah, that's what stood out to me, too. So our mission in this deep dive, then, is to understand how Starbright leverages these relationships, how they use them to create such lasting impact for families. We're basically aiming to uncover the mechanics of this community-embedded model and figure out what makes it so effective.
And what's fascinating here is how Starbright positions itself. They're not working in isolation. Instead, they see themselves as a critical, collaborative piece of this larger service delivery network. The sources show they work like hand in hand with really diverse partners across health, education, nonprofit sectors.
And these aren't just, casual chats. The material really highlights how vital these partnerships are for, well, everything. From just identifying children who might need support to making sure families can actually access the services easily, and coordinating care so a child's full range of needs are met. It's quite intricate.
And if we connect this to the bigger picture, it's pretty clear they understand they can't be everything to everyone. So instead, they focus on deep collaboration. Provincially, for example, the sources note these crucial links with organizations like BC Children's Hospital, Sunny Hill Health Center.
Big names.
Yeah, and the Down Syndrome Foundation, various BC hearing programs too.
And then locally, they're really embedded right within the Kelowna community itself, partnering with local clinics, health centers, daycares, preschools, basically all across the Okanagan.
Right.
It's about creating these pathways for support, like wherever a child might actually be.
And internally, Starbright does offer a really wide range of specialized services themselves. They leverage a talented staff team. We see mentions of infant development programs, occupational therapy.
That helps kids with daily living skills, right?
Exactly. And speech-language pathology for communication, physical therapy for movement, inclusive child care, counseling. The sources even highlight a recent generous donation from the Stober Foundation that actually allowed them to expand their team by hiring a board-certified behavior analyst.
Oh, interesting.
Yeah, someone who specializes in understanding and addressing behavioral challenges.
Okay, so that internal expertise is clearly foundational. It has to be. But the sources really emphasize the outward focus, too, like being part of the BC Association for Child Development and Intervention, BCACDI. That sounds like a big deal.
It seems incredibly valuable, yeah. It's a province-wide network of similar agencies. And this raises an important point about sharing knowledge and advocating collectively. As part of BCACDI, Starbright benefits from shared best practices, learning opportunities, and importantly, a unified voice advocating for early intervention services across BC. There's actually a quote in there from Dr. Noreen Simmons. She's the executive director for the BC Family Hearing Resource Society, another BCACDI member.
Okay.
And she praises Starbright as an agency that does great work and specifically highlights their staff as exceptionally caring and collaborative.
So that collaborative spirit, it clearly extends beyond just Kelowna's borders.
Definitely.
And it reaches right into the places where young children spend most of their time, childcare providers. The sources really emphasize how Starbright's connections with local daycares and preschools are just crucial for ensuring inclusion and providing support in those settings.
Yeah, for instance, there are comments from owners of local centers like Smileykin's Childcare and Knox Kids Co. They share how much they rely on Starbright. They describe like contacting Starbright when they have kids with developmental delays and getting expert guidance, sometimes even direct staff support placed within their daycare to help deliver therapy.
Wow, right in the daycare.
Mm-hmm. And this partnership gives childcare providers, as they put it, a critical sense of peace of mind and confidence.
That level of integrated support, reaching into the daycare itself, that's a powerful example of how this partnership model goes way beyond just simple referrals. And similarly, their collaboration with health professionals seems just as fundamental.
Interior Health is highlighted as a really long-standing partner. There's a speech-language pathologist with Interior Health, Deborah Seville. She talks about the close working relationship. Sharing referrals, collaborating on treatment plans, even doing joint therapy
Joint
sessions.
sessions, okay.
Yeah. This coordinated approach helps ensure that the child's diverse needs are addressed holistically. It prevents gaps in support.
Makes sense. And what's also fascinating is how these partnerships create these broader community benefits, almost like ripple effects. The sources mention a collaboration with UBC Faculty of Medicine's Southern Medical Program.
Oh, yeah.
Megan Ross, a coordinator there, shares how this gives UBC students these invaluable learning opportunities. They get to observe and participate in therapies like speech and physical therapy, getting practical experience working with children and families.
That's a brilliant synergy, isn't it? Future medical professionals gain essential experience, and Starbright reinforces its role as this trusted center of expertise. Ross notes that families trust Starbright because it provides not just the essential therapies, but also that vital network of support. It's a place where they can feel empowered and supported.
And that deep foundation of trust, that proven track record of impact, that's what enables another absolutely critical layer of Starbright's model.
Hmm.
The sustained community investment and giving back. Dr. Rhonda Nelson, she's Starbright's executive director, she points to these long-term relationships with local businesses and community members, people who support them year after year because they just recognize the value of the work.
And the sources give really tangible examples of this community buy-in. You see staff from major banks like TD and RBC regularly volunteering their time. They do these days of caring, helping refresh the center or assemble things like bikes for families.
That's great.
Yeah, and the Kelowna firefighters host an annual Secret Santa event, bringing joy directly to client families. Plus, dedicated community members have undertaken, significant fundraising projects over the years for essential facility upgrades and equipment.
So it's this diverse tapestry of support, really,
Yeah.
from corporate volunteering to individual philanthropy. It truly underscores how the community actively invests in Starbright's mission. And as Dr. Nelson explains, this support lets their entire focus remain on providing that vital service.
Right.
Because they know early intervention is key to helping children thrive and meet their developmental goals.
And what really stands out, connecting back to accessibility, is the referral process itself, as described in the sources. A child can be referred, with family consent, obviously, by anyone, a family member, doctor, public health nurse, childcare provider, anyone.
Okay.
And critically, no formal diagnosis is required to seek support.
Oh, that's huge.
It removes a massive potential barrier,
Makes
right? Ensures families can get help as early as possible.
That accessibility piece, it feels like a core principle, probably derived from their focus on families. It's just clear this complex, interconnected web of partnerships is absolutely fundamental to Starbright's ability as a nonprofit to deliver its comprehensive therapy and program services.
So what does this all mean then when we step back and look at the model? What's the takeaway?
Well, I think the core insight from this deep dive is the undeniable power of this deeply integrated community model. Starbright's nearly 60 years of impact. It isn't just about providing services in a vacuum. It's really about building and, crucially, maintaining a robust ecosystem of support through all these diverse partnerships, clinical, educational, philanthropic, individual volunteers. This collaborative approach isn't just a nice-to-have bonus. The sources make it clear it's the engine driving their success in providing that comprehensive care.
Yeah, absolutely.
If we pull it all together from these sources,
Yeah.
the big takeaway seems pretty clear, doesn't it? Starbright's success in Kelowna isn't just their own staff. It's massively amplified by this incredibly diverse, committed network of partners.
It really is an ecosystem. Health, education, nonprofits, businesses, individuals, all focused on these young kids. It's a powerful example of collaboration extending an organization's impact.
So for you listening, hearing about all these different groups pulling together, What really stands out to you? Does seeing this model make you think differently about how communities can support families or tackle other challenges?
Yeah, and maybe a final thought to chew on, building on what we read. This multifaceted partnership approach seems to work so well for child development here. How could we apply that model elsewhere to other complex community issues?
Hmm. What could be possible if different sectors consistently teamed up with that kind of shared, single-minded focus?
Something to think about.
Definitely something to think about. Well, thank you for digging into this source material with us today.
It was fascinating.
Thank you for listening to the Global Heroes podcast. Please remember to follow us on social media, and you can also stream our show, It's a Beautiful World, over on Prime Video.